Hey, good morning for me. Good evening to you, Brad.
Good evening.
We are back with a little bit of casual painting. I'm taking a break from studying, but I think you are at the end of your week, aren't you?
I am. I am. I've done quite a bit of study as well, actually. To be honest, you're studying psychology, aren't you, Jeff? Whereas I'm studying environmental science and stuff. So
Yeah.
my books have given me a bit of a headache this week, so I'm taking this evening off, and I'm going to be doing some study in the morning. But I'm not going to be doing the normal type of art today that I would normally
Hmm.
do. I'm actually going to be doing something slightly different and slightly peculiar. Um, this little
You tell.
thing here, this little person, I will be decorating and basically seeing what happens. I'm going to put some
Yeah.
googly eyes, and maybe if I can find something, I'm going to put a little mohawk on there as well. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll sort something out anyway. But what are you going to do, Jeff?
So I am going to mess around very, very casually with doing the front of a flower shop. I'm going to be, I will pencil it in and I'll ink it, and then I'll be using my alcohol markers. So we'll see
Yes,
how it turns out.
I do like the look of those alcohol markers. I've got my eye
I'll
on
be
a set of
honest, they're
those now.
pretty addictive.
Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely,
have
I
very
can
many
imagine.
colors. I recommend buying more colors, but I've got some on
Yeah,
order. So.
when I eventually become rich, then I will buy you all the colours, and I'll get myself a set as well.
Well, they're not too expensive, especially if you buy them in bulk. They end up being like less than $1 each, so it's pretty
Did you
good.
did you say that you are able to refill them?
So these ones, yes and no. So some of them you can. Um, there's a brand called Copic, which is they're really expensive. They are like I think they're about $10 each, which is insane. And those ones you can refill pretty much all of them. These ones
Yeah.
are a brand called Ohuhu here, and they have like 57 of the colors are refillable, so not too bad.
$10 an individual piece, pen
Yes,
rather.
yes.
Wow. I
Isn't that
mean,
insane?
it's probably worth every penny. But then
Not from
again,
what I understand.
oh, okay. It's probably
So the
it's a status thing then.
it is, yeah. So like they're made in Japan,
Okay.
and so they're fancier. But these ones are made in China, which I guess they're not as fancy, but they're still really good. And they seem to have a good customer service. So, yeah, it's good.
That's what you need.
And I
You need
suppose
good
we should
customer
say hello to
service.
some people in the chat here. I don't
I
I don't
can't
see
see
anybody
anyone in
making any
chat.
comments. We
Is
have a
anyone
few
in
people
there?
watching.
Okay. Say hello.
Don't be shy.
Say,
Don't be shy.
we don't bite, only unless you ask us to.
Exactly. Ah, dear. So I don't actually know what I'm doing here. Let's see. I need to do another line. I'm copying off of a AI generated line art.
Oh yeah.
I've never done this before, so
So you remember the other day you sent me that picture that you were doing with perspective? You were
yes.
practicing with perspective. Well, I watched a YouTube video about it today because I
Hmm.
thought it might be nice to do some sort of dystopian, futuristic city scenes because I like the whole cyberpunk genre.
Yeah.
Um, and I started trying one, and I thought, you know what, it's going to be so much easier if I can do this on my desk, where I actually have a long ruler to work with. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Maya and Witness.
Yeah,
Hello.
we got Maya in the chat. Nice to see you. And Witness is listening while she's running around. So that's cool.
Excellent.
Listen away. We'll try and talk. I'll try not to inhale my coffee. I wanted to show this while I'm trying to figure out mentally what to do with this art I'm working on. But this looks like an aquarium, but it's actually not. This is actually a world in a jar. And I was messing around with the markers. And then this is the first one I did here. So it's just a regular old glass jar with a nice little world in it. So we got a tree and some other trees in the background, grass, and a bush. And then I was messing around with different trees as well. I really like this style of like line and art kind of drawing and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It is nice, isn't it? Maya, I like Maya's comment there. It's good to see you doing art again, Jeff. I completely agree.
You know, I am glad to be doing it again. It's it was a bit of a break there, and it was necessary, but I'm back. So
yeah, you've got to do what's right for you.
I mean, to be honest, the course was just kicking my ass. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy subject to deal with, is it? I suppose.
No, not always. There are definitely certain areas which are better. Like, there's definitely different topics, but when you're talking about pretty heavy topics like unaliving and stuff, it's
so you actually have to. I mean, obviously, you'd have to study that as well, wouldn't you? So, yeah, it's not easy. If you ever need to interview a veteran who has been to that point almost, you feel free to let me know. I'll happily interview with you.
You know, I'm a little bit nervous about doing interviews with people who are having or who have had actual experience with it, because it can be.
Oh, sorry. I mean for your courses, for example. I mean, rather than
yeah.
Okay, so in chat, could you decide what color I should use next? Because I want to make this little guy multiple colors. Now I've got more colors to my left here, but these are the sort of the brightest ones I could find. I want to make every single part of this little dude a different color. So if you could let me know what you want next for the hand, for example, I can do that.
Oh, we got Haggis Basher in the chat here saying royal blue.
Royal blue. Hello, Haggis Basher. I have ultramarine. So do we have royal blue? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Suppose you could potentially make a royal blue.
Probably, if I knew how.
Exactly.
I have,
in theory.
Yeah, cobalt blue. That's quite awesome, but I've run out of that more or less. What have I got here? I don't know what these colours look like in real life. Crikey. I don't even know what blue...
Swatch? You gotta swatch, man.
I know. I've got to get round to doing it.
Swatch it up.
Yeah.
I love swatch. It's relaxing. I just put on some music and I just chill out and just do a color at a time. It seems a bit daunting at first because there's a lot of colors, but it's nice.
Right. In chat, please tell me how to make royal blue.
Haggis Basher says that royal ultramarine is just fine.
Okie dokie. Right, we'll do that then. Ultramarine, because that's quite a nice
Scientology
colour.
Geek is in the chat as well. Nice to see you.
Hello, Holly. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Have you seen all the wonderful work that Holly's been doing on the ChatGPT stuff, Jeff?
I have not been very connected lately. If I'm being totally honest, I've been so focused on my own little area in the world.
Sure.
Haven't been paying too much attention. And honestly, ChatGPT scares me.
Yeah, it's not going to be long until Holly and her computer starts taking over the world.
Exactly. But I have heard that they're doing some great work.
Yeah.
There's so many different things to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. I get swamped by the amount of information I want to take in, and the amount of people I want to watch and everything else, and I just can't. So I have to just ignore some of it sometimes and then come back to it later or something. It's just.
And
Scientology
Geek says, I ain't been doing shit lately, LOL. There you go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Hello to Liz Gale. Nice to see you in the chat while you straighten your hair for your holiday work party. Your husband's holiday work party.
Hello, Liz Gale. You are famous. Always happens. Famous. It always happens when I'm on with you, Jeff. I get to interact with people I normally wouldn't get a chance to interact with. So it's great.
All these famous people.
Yep, famous and infamous, like Scientology Geek. Sorry, Haggis Basher makes a good point here. To make royal blue, you just need to add a crown.
There you go.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Good one. So I am doing my darndest I'm actually making this a little bit realer than I think I should. So I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, but.
Just one step at a time. That's all you need to do.
I just want to make the front look kind of good, and then I will do a little bit worse of a job with the lines once I get the ink out. I like squiggly lines.
Why has Liz Gale got one functioning arm currently?
Because she thought she was a young person and decided to do some electric scootering, and a while ago she broke her arm.
Okay,
and it's a lesson that every old person like myself has to learn, that they're not young anymore. And they'll do something silly.
I would go as far as saying that Liz Gale doesn't look in the slightest bit old.
No, I know. And I don't look older either.
But no, you don't actually. You're older than me, Jeff, and yet you look younger than me, and it's infuriating.
I'm a child. What can I say?
Yeah, well, my mental age is pretty young, to be fair, but I'm a man-child. Yeah, apparently I'm a man-child. I've been told many times, which is fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, by people that like you.
Yeah, and people that don't. But I don't really care.
I've been called that. I've been called that by people who didn't like me.
Yeah, I get called all sorts, and to be honest, I don't care. I'm interested.
Yeah. You got to not care.
Exactly. There's more important things in life to worry about.
Yeah.
So what's going on in chat? Yeah, so
not too much.
I would say to Liz, try not falling off in future, because it's not a good thing, really.
Not a good thing. Well, she learned that.
Or it's either that, or tie a load of pillows around your body so that if you do fall off, you don't hurt yourself.
I'm gonna get an angry text from Liz later, I'm sure. What are you doing? I'm kidding. She's one of my biggest supporters. What can I say?
Yeah. Liz,
Consider her a
fortunately,
friend.
I do watch your content, Liz, but I don't get a chance to watch it as often as I would like. But you are awesome, and I appreciate you a lot and everything you do. So I really appreciate you coming in here to see Jeff and myself. Even though you came
she's
in.
an artist. She just sold her piece on eBay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
So she's a rich artist as well.
Yeah, totally. No, it's the her red string project, her framed one. Really cool. Science Hollow Geek, to answer this question, is that a little restaurant or a storefront? In theory, it's going to be a flower storefront, and I'm just kind of sketching out the front of it for now, and then I will add in some details and then try and line art it a little bit. But we'll see how that turns out.
Tyler Geek, I think Brad's dropped in on a couple of those. What did I drop in on? I drop in on a lot of stuff, but I don't always say anything necessarily.
Lurking.
Because I struggle to human at times. I struggle to be a human.
I feel like a lot of
my
people
colours?
do.
Yeah. Does anyone like my colour scheme?
Love it. I feel like I'm doing way too much detail on this. I should just be a bit looser with it.
So did you say you were going to use ink?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just use a standard
So I would
pigment liner.
Okay. What I would say, and this is just me, so you don't have to listen to me, obviously, but having the accurate detail like you have there with the pencil, because ultimately the pencil's going to go, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's how I would have it personally. I would have the detail, but then what I would do is with the ink pen, and again, this is only just my style. You do whatever you want to do, but I would make the ink lines rougher. So
yeah.
I would, make them a bit more untidy and messy. But I don't know what you're actually looking to do. So
No, that's the plan. More of a sketchy kind of look. Doesn't look good. I don't like that. Thank God for erasers.
So, Liz Gale, were you wearing high heels when you were scooting around?
Oh,
because that could be dangerous.
Liz doesn't need high heels.
How tall is Liz?
I want to say she's like 5'10". She can correct me in the chat. Maybe 5'11". She's taller than I am, and I'm 5'7". So
to be fair, Jeff, that's not hard.
Tall. I know. This is true. I see how it's going to be. Just going to rip on Jeff, eh?
Oh, I know. I'm just getting you back for teasing Liz Gale.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go, Liz. Brad's defending your honor.
Defending your honor, yeah. You know I love you, Jeff.
I know.
Remember, Jeff, what happens at Saint Hill stays at Saint Hill.
Yeah, well, I tell everyone all the time how you held me and kept me warm.
I know. There was lots of cuddling involved, wasn't there?
Totally. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I've forgotten we're not supposed to tell Andrea that, are we?
No. I think she was probably watching live.
Yeah, it's true.
Probably wondering if I was going to come back or not. I know that's not why I couldn't attend this year.
No, it's all right. I understand. We did miss you there.
Yeah. Perhaps next year. We'll see if it even happens next year.
Well, if you do come next year, you're very welcome to stay at my place because I only live down the road.
Okay.
and you'll get free accommodation. And Andrea's welcome to come along as well. Oh no!
Unfortunately, we have to bring Raz.
You've got the baby. You've got the baby with you, haven't you? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that wouldn't work, but that's okay. Appreciate the offer.
Well, anyway, you're always welcome.
Thanks, buddy. And I would like to point out to everyone who may be watching in the chat here, I am a complete amateur, so you know.
As am I.
Cut me some slack.
Jeff, you say you're a complete amateur, but what you're doing is you're just trying a different type of art. What you're actually exceptionally good at is pouring art. Okay?
It is fun.
And you will get good at this. I mean, you're good at this already, to be fair. I don't see why you seem to think you're not, but anyway. You're good at this, but your pouring art's amazing. I'm jealous, and I would love to be able to do that, but I just don't have the space.
It doesn't take that much space. I just have a table, just a standard table.
I upgraded my desk actually. I went to one of my customers and I said, "Do you have any cut-offs? You know, offcuts from this company? They make cabinets and all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and it's basically." I've got a brand new tabletop, which is about the same size, twice the size as the one I previously had, and I got it for free, so I'm really happy.
Nice. Yeah.
Irish
He is
Mart,
always good.
Irish Mart, good to see you.
Yeah, so there we go. That's a bit of the rough outline here. I am working off of funnily enough, AI generated image.
Nice.
So I didn't want to steal anybody's artwork, even though AI probably stole it anyway. But
well, it's not like music; you're not going to get fined for it. But yeah, I'm the same. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to people here, and I've said it before many times that I really struggle to because I'm autistic and I've probably got lots of weird and wonderful things going on in my brain. I struggle to actually have the imagination to be able to come up with my own ideas a lot of the time. So I do have a tendency to copy other people's art ideas.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or sort of make a variation of them, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, which I don't actually feel guilty about it, because if you think about it, it's kind of it's a bit like if you sample someone's music, you know, you're doing it because you like it. So I think of it like that. But if I were to ever do a piece of art that I was going to sell or give away or something like that, I would make a point of letting them know that it's inspired by a certain artist's work or something like that, you know, because I think that's fair. People need the credit, especially if they're doing wonderful art.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, is there any real original anything anymore? Because I mean, everything's kind of been done, right?
No, you're right.
To a certain degree.
You're right, but I also feel if I were to do some piece of art, well, no, I wouldn't personally, but anyway, I'm talking nonsense now. But you get the idea.
Yep.
I'm going to go for blue again for that.
A royal blue? Does it have a crown on it?
Not yet. Yeah, AI generated stuff is weird, isn't it, Witness? I agree. Witness was just saying that if you're doing fingers and stuff like that in, AI, quite often they'll get the wrong amount of fingers and stuff like that.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, I mean, surely the computer model would realise, that people have, as a general rule, 4 fingers and 1 thumb.
You would think so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm not too worried about the robots taking over quite yet.
Well, there's theories. There's plenty of theories out there that we are actually already in a simulation.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And there's reasonable amount of I would say credible evidence to show that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that too much.
I'm not going to suggest that it's exactly like the Matrix or anything, but there's certainly some weird stuff going on.
Some glitches, perhaps.
Glitches in the Matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also I was watching something recently, and they were talking about what do they call it? Let me just get this right in my head before I try and explain it. Otherwise, I won't explain it very well. Are you familiar with quantum physics in any way?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I know it's a thing.
Yeah. So I am certainly not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I am an enthusiastic amateur when it comes to quantum mechanics, right? So when you look at scale, you're looking at so you go from things like molecules, okay, and then within, smaller than molecules are atoms, for example, and then you go down to the quantum level eventually, okay. And at the quantum level, are you something called quantum superposition, and that is that if you observe something, I'm explaining this really badly, but basically at a quantum level, if you observe something, it changes or something like that. But the other thing is that they're connected as well across space and time. Do you know what? I'm just going to give up because my brain's not with it today. My brain's not with it.
It sounds complicated.
It is, but normally I know I can explain this reasonably well because normally I do. But for some reason, today my brain is. I've had a long day at work, and although the work was good, I'm tired, and that's the reason why I can't explain that very well. But what was I saying? What was my original point?
You asked me about quantum physics.
Quantum mechanics, right?
Mechanics, yeah. See, I was paying attention.
Yeah. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, for God's sake! Do you know what, Jeff? I'm just going to give up for now. I'm so sorry. For those of you in chat, I am sane. I promise. I've been tested. I'm just tired and I can't remember the useful information at the moment. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Right. Colours. What colour are we going to do the head? What colour are we going to do
well,
the
that's
head?
Up to the chat, I think. So, chat,
I think
throw
so,
in there. Yeah. What colour is the head going to be?
And I've now got paint all over myself, which is typical of me.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Right, come on, chat. What are we going to do? Apart from get paint all over myself, I'm going to be artistic about it and just spread it around a bit. It's like, yay! Now it looks like I've just murdered someone. Terrible. So sorry.
That's okay.
We're not allowed to use that word, are we?
No, it doesn't matter.
Pale pink head.
I don't think there's any ads on this stream.
No. Pale pink. Okay, so let's have a look. What have I got here? What about rose portrait? How's that?
Rose portrait. I don't know if you had a swatch, Brad.
Jeff, I've told you I will get round to it eventually. I promise you I will.
If only there was a swatch. If only.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, do you need to do any swatching at any point? Because if you do, we can do a stream together and I'll do my swatching and you do yours.
Yeah, well, sound? I'm hoping on Monday my expanded marker set will show up. And so maybe we can set something up then.
Sounds like a plan. Maya, are you still in chat? Because I still want to do a live at some point with you over the weekend. Because I haven't managed to catch up with Maya for a few weeks.
Maya is in the chat and she says, "Tell him, Jeff." I'm thinking, referring to swatching.
Yes, because Maya's been telling me as well for a long time.
You really got. It's just got. That's how you learn your colors, right? Like, at least that's the way I look at it.
Yes, you're all correct. I know. I don't disagree with you.
We shouldn't be giving you a hard time. I also have no idea what kind of plant I'm drawing right now, but it's
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all about whatever works for you. And if people don't like it, that's fine. Doesn't matter. I like it. You like it. That's all that matters, right? Flowers don't need to be. Unless I'm specifically drawing a specific flower, they don't need to be anything other than pretty.
Looks like Haggis Basher says basil rosemary. Yeah, that's about right. That's what I'm doing. You should see this picture, the AI generated one. The amount of plants that are in this picture is insane, and there's no way that I'm drawing all those plants. This is a shop with very little inventory. Let's just say that.
Well, maybe it should be a florist, and you should do plants inside and out.
Yeah, could be.
I think so.
This one's just draping over. This one's just draping.
Did I tell you, Jeff, I wrote a couple of poems about Scientology recently?
You did?
Yes.
Would you like to recite any of them for our audience?
No, because I don't feel that they're good enough.
Okay.
You know, Brian, is it Brian Lucas? Oh, what's his name? Brian something or other, the poet Brian, whatever his name is. Yeah, he inspired me because I've been told a few times in the past that I'm, my poems are reasonable when I've written them. But as a general rule, I can never be bothered. But when I was on a live with, who was it now? Maya, you remember. Did I see Pondfish? Oh, heard of Pondfish. Have you seen Pondfish's work? He or she, actually, I don't know. I can't remember. Whatever gender Pondfish is, Pondfish is awesome. Some amazing watercolors of animals.
Oh, cool.
So Sorry, what was I saying before? I'm getting distracted.
About poetry and being
Yeah.
inspired.
Yeah. So I wrote a poem. I'll tell you what it's called. Actually, I do you know? I will read it out. I will, just for you, Jeff, because you asked.
Well, only if you want, bud.
Yeah, I will.
Didn't mean to pressure you into that or anything.
No. It's fine. I need to build my confidence when it comes to reading out loud. And the reason is there's an aspect of my dyslexia where when I'm reading something, it takes slightly longer for the information to connect to the bit where I'm talking, if that makes sense. So if I'm reading something out, I struggle a little bit with it. So,
Okay.
however, it's a confidence thing as well. So the poem is called Sea Org.
I like the way this is going.
Okay. So I'm going to read it out, but you know, I'm not a poet and I'm not claiming to be one, so we'll see how we go. Okay. Sea Org. I am saving the world. I know what's best for you. You wogs are without direction. I am Sea Org. I am power. I am perfect in my ways. How dare you talk of rights? Your mind belongs to us. We own you. Hubbard is our Lord, our Saviour. He knows best. How can we judge him? Hubbard is wrong, but we must conform.
Wow.
There you go.
That is beautiful and accurate.
Yeah, and dark.
Yeah, dark for sure, but that's also part of the accuracy.
Yeah.
You know. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. I like I say, you know, I'm not very great when it comes to public speaking, so I've got to be a bit careful with it. But yeah, that's all right. I mean, I don't mind sharing these things sometimes. So here we go. Yes, witness has confirmed it is Brian Lucas.
Yeah, that's the very well known man, I think. Very well known. Let's see. So I need to just give a little bit of context for this ground here, because it's a sidewalk. And so we'll just sort of do some lines, I guess. And nothing too specific.
Oh, that's nice. That whole picture is just lovely. Already, it's lovely. You know, when you finished it, it's going to be awesome. I just want to say hello to Miss Tara Green, who is absolute. Yeah, who's got an amazing way with words.
Oh, Brad, in this version of Art Attack, who takes the place of Neil Buchanan, the maestro of creativity and fun? Is his spirit still felt in the strokes of the show?
That's a very interesting.
That's lost upon me.
It's lost upon me. Miss Tara Green clearly appears to be very intelligent, and I actually have a higher than average IQ, but I don't remember things, so I can learn things, but then I forget them very easily. So Neil Buchanan, no idea. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I grew up in a cult, so
yeah,
I don't know these things.
Well, thank you for the lovely compliments about my dodgy bit of poetry there.
Dodgy. I wouldn't say it was dodgy, but
no, I'm just being too harsh on myself again. I shouldn't do that. I don't like telling myself. I don't like being nice to myself. You see, that's the problem. I struggle with that.
I understand completely.
Yeah. Yellow torso. What do you think?
Yellow torso. Oh, I thought that was that's the name of the color. Yellow torso, or it could be torso yellow.
That's quite cool. Simpsons torso yellow, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a very much more racist version of that, which I certainly won't be saying. No, yellow. Yellow is the key. It's lemon yellow, actually, Jeff. This one. Lemon yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yellow Torso is a great band's name, says Witness. Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I was going to show you this. I haven't shown this yet. This is what I did yesterday. Another World in a Jar. This one is actually a peanut butter jar. It's a Jif peanut butter jar, as you can tell by the red top. At least the ones that I've seen. So there you go.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's on a shelf.
What you could do, potentially, is you could draw a little crack there where the river is and draw water dribbling out.
That would be awesome, actually.
That's just my weird brain.
That would actually be awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to have to be yours then. When you make one, I want to see it.
Yeah, I will get around to it, I promise. Witness, yes, Brian Lucas has already invited me on to one of his things, so I need to write some more poetry, I think. So if anyone has any ideas of poetry, if anyone wants to be a muse, please feel free to email me your ideas. I tend to work better if someone gives me some sort of a prompt. Jif, is that peanut butter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Kraft peanut butter, but it's not Kraft. Basically, it's the other peanut butter.
So what is Kraft peanut butter? Is that a brand? Is it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, they do real stuff too, but it's basically a peanut butter with lots of fillers and sugars and stuff. It's not like pure peanut butter. I wouldn't say it's healthy peanut butter.
No. It's difficult to find healthy food these days, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing the outline in this in a thinner ink. Yeah, I think that'll work out well. And then I'll do more like edges and stuff in a thicker one.
So I just had a weird thought go through my head. Jeff, do you want to hear it?
I do.
When I pulled the little creature's, this little dude's arm up like this, and I started painting under here, which is where his armpit would be, I thought to myself, I hope it doesn't tickle too much. I don't know. How ridiculous is that?
I'm sure he'll let you know.
We've got to come up with a name for this dude as well. Or it could be a dudette. It could be a female. We don't know. Come on then, in chat. Let's get some ideas going.
What is his ultimate intention in life? Where's he going in life?
That's something else I think chat needs to decide.
What's his occupation?
Looks a kind of a bit like a crash test dummy, doesn't it? So
he does. He does.
And no, I'm not calling it Brad. Do you know what, Jeff? You've just given me a good idea.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
I was saying about a mohawk.
Yeah.
I'm going to get together some sort of orange coloured fabric that I can pull apart and make into a bright orange mohawk. And then this little dude could be called Jeff, potentially.
Oh, hey now.
What?
Hey now. Thought we
As
were
a com-
friends. You call me a dummy? No.
Oh, typical of me. I've got paint in the wrong place. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yes, Maya, I agree. It's starting to look like a crash test dummy. Absolutely.
So this plant store sells all kinds of plants, including a cactus, which is just living outside here.
Hey, Jeff, you'll have to text me the image that you've got later so I can have a look. I'm curious to see how many plants it really does have.
Oh, yeah. There's, I mean, I want to say at least 30. It's crazy.
So, do you know what this looks like? It looks like two things to me. First one is there's a shop in Brighton in the lanes that looks a little bit like that, I think. I haven't seen it for a while. And then the second thing is it reminds me of the sort of thing you would get in New York in the Village, which is I've never been to New York, but I've seen it in movies a number of times, and it looks like that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been in New York either. I don't think I would ever go to New York.
Actually, I tell a lie. I have been to New York, kind of.
Liar.
On my way to Canada, strangely enough. When I was growing up, I went over to Canada with my family to visit their friends and our friends as well. And on the way, we stopped at Newark Airport, which I believe is in New York or near to New York. So it would have been New York State, I suppose.
I think that's New Jersey.
Oh, it's close enough anyway, but it's New York State at least anyway. So,
okay.
So technically, I can say I've been to America, even though I was only there for less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I worked it out a few years ago, and I think I've been to 16 different countries.
Wow. How many of those have been for pleasure reasons? Not like, I don't know if you, when you were in the military, if you did any kind of deployments into different countries or not, but.
So military-wise, I was stationed in Germany.
Okay.
We did training in Poland. Went up to Holland to pick up some armored vehicles that came over on a ferry with some other guys from a different unit.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones we took out to Iraq, those vehicles. So I did that. I've been to Iraq, obviously. I've been to Kuwait, and we were in Oman back in 2000 doing a training exercise out there, Operation Safe Syria. That was quite cool. What else? Do you know, honestly, I can't remember now. I've got a terrible memory. But yeah, I've been to a few places.
Northern like Pondfish says that they were in the U.S. Army and Iraq vet as well.
What year were you in there and Pondfish? Just curious to know. I was in 2003. So right at the beginning of the Iraq conflict. In fact, I was over in Iraq only a few hours after the invasion started.
Wow.
Which is why, Jeff, I have this. See that shiny bit? That little rosette thing?
Yeah.
That's why I have that on my medal thingy. But my normal
cool.
medals, they just look the same. They just look normal. There's nothing special on those. It's just on this bit you have this little shiny bit. So
that's because you served in Iraq then? Like that's specific to that?
That's because I was there as part of the invasion force.
Okay. I only partially served in the fake Space Navy, so I can't. I don't have anything to show for it.
Actually, Jeff, you say that, but back in the old days of the fake Space Navy, they did actually have these medal ribbon things.
Oh, they still do. I'm sure. They just don't wear them. That's their Class A uniform, the dress uniform. It's actually insane. It's one of the weirdest things about the Sea Org to me when I was there. It's just like, it was weird. The whole Navy aspect of it, I never really understood.
Now I get it. He was in the Navy when Hubbard was in the Navy when he was, even though I know he did lie about a lot of things, but he was in the Navy, so I understand why he would want to organize a little bit in a similar way. I can understand that, but what I don't understand is why did he come up with all these various medals for people when you haven't served in a well, okay, look, let's just say that they're not issued to you for the traditional reasons that a medal would be issued. So
yeah, that's a great question.
Because this one for Iraq, okay, this one for Northern Ireland, otherwise known as Operation Banner for the British Army. So I got them because I served there and I served my country, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, and I'm not. I mean, I know that different organisations have different ways of dealing with things, and but it just seems ridiculous to. It feels almost a little bit like stolen valor, even though it's not. It's not at all. But it just sort of feels too weird to me. I don't get it. And someone actually sent me a link to a channel, a PDF where you can actually see what all of these individual things are meant to be. That's quite interesting to look at. Yeah. And then for the most ridiculous things like the campaign against the IRS or something like that, I think you get a medal for it because you took part in it or something silly like that. But it's more it reminds me more of the North Korean army. You've seen their generals with hundreds of medals.
Yeah.
When
especially Dave Miscavige, like he's got so many of them, and he's also very small, so that it takes up a lot of his uniform.
Yeah. The most ridiculous thing about that, of course, is that what was I going to say? Do you know, I can't even remember. It's so annoying. It's that whole tiredness thing going on.
Yeah. All good, man.
Papa Smurf. I need some lighter blue on here for Papa Smurf colours, don't I? Yeah. Sorry, Jeff, carry on.
I was going to ask. Oh, no, I was going to say. So I've been studying. I don't know if my book's up here, actually. Where is it? It's not up here. Psychiatric disorders, which has been fascinating. That's kind of my current status. And I thought it was going to be really challenging, but it's actually really quite interesting. And it's not like I'm going to be diagnosing anybody, because that's not what my job's going to be. But just learning to recognize certain things is really cool.
I watched the video a few days ago, Jeff, which I will try and find and send to you. It's a really interesting interview back in the 50s for someone with severe schizophrenia.
Okay. Oh.
I think it is. And it's absolutely fascinating. This guy is just seems like a really nice guy, but I get the impression that this person is extremely dangerous because of, you know, the type of hospital he's in. He's obviously in an asylum, but yeah, it's really weird. I'll send it to you anyway. You'll understand it far better than I will.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that, but
oh no, definitely you will. Definitely you will.
Yeah, I was just learning. So like all I'm really learning is basically warning signs about different disorders and being able to basically recognize whether someone is kind of beyond my scope of practice, right? Because if they need to see someone else, then they need to see someone else. And yeah, it's just interesting. And the funny thing with this as well is, like, I was raised to believe that psychiatry was evil and they don't know what they're talking about, and there's overdiagnosis and all this stuff. And that's kind of what this guy is even partially saying when he's talking about not like just jumping to the conclusion that somebody has a, you know, an actual disorder, right? Mm-hmm. There's and at first I was like, oh shit, is this actually written by a Scientologist? Because the idea that medical diagnosis, that or an actual diagnosis of a medical disorder, i.e., let's say schizophrenia or ADHD or whatever, is jumped to the conclusion way too much. Like, that's not often the actual problem. It could be something else, and it's not to say that it doesn't exist, not to that extent, but that you need to explore all avenues before you actually diagnose. Because it can have a really profound aspect, like effect on someone's life. You know, it goes with them for basically the rest of their life.
I understand that, and I appreciate that is a thing now, because years ago they would just put people in the asylums just because they were a bit different.
Or drug them or whatever, right? So.
Peter Anderson just made a comment. Can you try and bring that up for me, Jeff, please?
This one here?
Yes. Could you explain that one to me?
Oh, because yeah. So do you not know what it is?
I might do, but I'm not 100% sure. So could you explain that one to me?
Well, basically, L. Ron Hubbard liked, I don't know if he just liked Alexander the Great, but he in the OSA network orders, he explains about how Alexander the Great operated as a general. So, but if you want to read or listen to the reference, I read it out loud in my OSA network series, and the video is number 9-2. So
okay, yeah, no. My guess is that Hubbard had a Napoleon complex or something. I don't know. You're the clever one here, Jeff. You tell me.
Oh, honestly, I don't understand L. Ron Hubbard very much and his insanity.
Would you say, based on your current knowledge, I mean, I know that you've not fully finished all your courses, but would you say that there's a degree of insanity there, or would you say that it's sort of some sort of weird and extreme narcissism or something, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's just narcissism, and yeah, I'm sure that, like, I'm not able to diagnose, so I can't say.
No, of course, I wouldn't expect you to, but I'm just curious of what you think. I mean, not from a professional perspective, but knowing what you know, would you consider that might be an option? I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, definitely narcissistic personality disorder, but way beyond that, I think too.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, Peter Anderson. I appreciate it because of you bringing that up, I've learned something new now, so that's cool. Thank you. Susie Alt, hello.
Hi, Susie. Nice to see you.
Do you know Susie?
Witness. Sorry, do I know her?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Susie Alt.
Oh yeah, Susie's around all the time on my channel anyway.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Don't let it freak you out, Jeff. LRH stole and relabeled a lot of stuff. Keep an open mind. I am certainly keeping an open mind, which is not something that comes naturally to me because I grew up in Scientology. But the funny thing is, like, that's the hardest thing, is to learn these new things and unlearn what I learned as a person growing up. So
what I noticed, Jeff, when I was at St Hill Manors doing my study, I was only on some of the real basic courses. I was never in the Sea Org, or I was never a proper full-on Scientologist. But yeah, because as you know my story, I knew already that it was a cult when I went in there. I just wanted to learn about it. But when I was reading this book, and I was reading some of the stuff that L. Ron Hubbard mentioned and what have you, and I was thinking, do you know what? A lot of it makes sense, but then if you actually think about it, it's basically information that you can pick up from different sources anyway, pretty easily, and a lot of it's real basic common sense stuff as well.
Yeah, because I mean that's probably one of the biggest things to recognize for people, like, even if they're in, is that none of this stuff is very unique, right?
No, it's certainly
just
not.
Taken from different sources and packaged differently. But unfortunately, it's the destructive aspects that were packaged with it that becomes problematic.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably use Dianetics to fairly good result, if you used it with an open mind and a nice heart. But that's not how it's used anymore.
I'm not convinced that is necessarily the case. Jeff, you're obviously considerably more qualified to answer that than me, but from my perspective, I think that it's probably not possible, only because there just seems to be so much negativity from Hubbard, hatred of certain things, and it's just, but that's just my view,
Yeah, I mean, so I guess with Dianetics specifically, if you consider it as separate from Scientology, and you just take the very basic therapeutic aspect of it, it might not be that bad. Like, it could be used well if the person had a good intention and a good heart, just in order to alleviate, let's say, immediate feelings. I'm not saying it's good or it's fully workable. I'm just saying that it might have some therapeutic value. In so much as there's so many different approaches that will or will not work with certain people, and maybe Dianetics is something to try to see if it works, and if it doesn't work, you move on. But that's the problem, is you can't move on. There is no other option. And so that's kind of the inherent problem with Dianetics, or Scientology in general, is you can't change anything, right? But also the stuff in Dianetics that may be effective might just be stuff that he took from other areas, like psychology, for example.
Even though he hated psychologists,
Yeah, exactly. Even though he wanted to offer it to psychology, and the only reason that he really started his own thing is because they insulted him and and said
So-
that Dynetics sucks.
Yeah, but it does suck. I mean,
Fair.
not to mention the fact that it's written extremely badly. You know where the concept Pulp Fiction comes from, don't you? You know the meaning behind Pulp Fiction, as in the original meaning, not the movie. So, as you know, again, I'm not trying to. This is more for the chat than you individually, Jeff, because you know this stuff much better than I do. But the term Pulp Fiction comes from back, a long time ago when Hubbard was doing all these stories and everything else. You would get paid by the word or the paragraph or whatever it was, and he would write all of his stuff down. But I don't actually think he did much of checking. But the reason it's called Pulp Fiction is because a lot of this stuff was printed on like a poor quality pulp paper or whatever it was. So I think that's where the term came from. But yeah, a lot of the stuff he wrote didn't, it's just like a flow of consciousness more than, let's think about this and let's write it properly.
Oh, I know. It's actually bonkers. There was no research done at all for him.
Yeah.
And if there was research, it was, this happened to one person, therefore it's fact. And that's the problem.
So, can you pull up the one from Drums 911?
Oh yeah. I know Drums 911.
That is a very, very good point. The study tech,
Hubbard,
which I am familiar with, but not massively. But with a study tech, yes, it's actually useful in places, definitely. But it's stuff that people have known about for years and years and years. He's just nicked it, like he says, plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big thing if you're an academic in any way. I mean, he clearly wasn't, but
well, I think the difference too between study tech, we'll just say study tech for an example, is that he brought it to such an extreme, right? Like he blamed not understanding words for all criminality, and that's it, right? That's the reason for criminality, is because you had misunderstood words, however many years ago, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not accurate.
Do you the misunderstood word thing? I actually do think about this, not quite often, but I do think about it occasionally, even still, because in some respects I don't, he's not wrong about missed words, okay, because I have found that if I'm reading through something I don't understand, that I am just literally thinking about it whilst I'm reading everything else, and I'm not focusing on what I'm actually reading. So he's correct, but I don't actually know where that comes from, because I doubt that he would have thought of it himself, and I doubt that it's original. So if anyone knows, I'd like to know where this whole misunderstood words come from.
Are you just talking about just looking up a word and finding out what it means?
No, sorry, the idea about misunderstood words. He says some, you'll be able to quote it better than I can, but he's saying about, if you don't understand a word, when you move forward, you're not going to understand the rest of the stuff that you're reading. Now, again,
you'll go
as
blind.
you say, as you'll say, as you have said, yes, he goes to the extreme, but it's not entirely wrong, because you will, it might just be me, but I've noticed that I will actually be in a position where I'm focusing on trying to work out what that word meant, and I'm actually not paying too much attention to whatever else is going on. So I'd like to know where that actually came from. Where was it stolen from?
I don't know. He might have just observed it. Who knows? But
I'd be curious.
At the end of the day, if you're if you're distracted by a word and your attention's over here, of course you're not going to, reclaim any information you just read. So,
Yeah, I guess.
Liz says someone compiled all LRH plagiarism and study tech was on there. Someone had invented, quote unquote, invented them before. So,
thank you, Liz. Now the question, Liz, is who was it and where is it?
Yeah, come on, Liz.
Sort it out, Liz. Come on.
Yeah, come on, sort it out, Liz. I'm trying to decide what other color this awning could be. I think I'm going to go with a lavender, it might be a bit dark, but we'll see.
No, that's perfect. You need a bit of contrast in there, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see your swatch there.
Oh, yeah. This is the swatch that came with the set. I colored it in, but I want to make a bigger one so I can have a bit more of a view of them because it's pretty small. This is going to be a very colorful building. They need to attract everyone to buy the plants.
So have you decided then, is it going to be a plant shop?
Well, there's plants outside, so I mean it could be a front for something. This could actually be a Scientology mission just secretly hiding in plain sight. Who knows?
Witness makes a good point there, Jeff.
This one here?
No. Go back to the previous one. Yeah.
I'll let you read that out loud.
No. My reading's terrible.
Okay. Please remember, this stuff was created, quote unquote, when LRH did not have the internet. You had to walk down to the library and look it up. If you were rural, you just guessed. Time matters for LRH story. That is a good point. Scientology would not have taken off today. Scientology couldn't exist today if it was just being invented.
And that's probably why it seems to be collapsing so fast, Jeff.
Oh, you noticed that, did you?
Yeah. Strangely enough.
It just doesn't stand up to scrutiny, right? Like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, look, the fact is, right, people believe weird things. There's people out there that I would normally consider to be relatively sensible people that believe in the flat earth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do even the slightest bit of research into it, you can tell very easily that there is no such thing as the flat earth, right? So these people are utterly ridiculous, but they believe in it because they want to believe in it. And that's why a lot of people in Scientology will go ahead and do all these weird and wonderful things because they want to believe, because they feel that the goal is good and everything else, right? So yeah, okay, that's fine. Believe in it, great, not a problem. Long live Scientology, right? However, stop all the bloody abuse, right? Stop the bloody abuse and we'll leave you alone, you bastards. Sorry, excuse my language.
There you go.
Excuse my language.
Drums 911 says study tech was developed to 2 school teachers, the Burners, but he never credited them. It was somewhat useful, but he did not develop himself as he claimed. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Drums 911, thank you. You seem to be on the ball with all this information. Appreciate it.
Oh yes, he is definitely on the ball.
So
I know him.
Drums, yeah. Were you? Sorry, did you serve in the fake Space Navy, Drums? Just curious.
I don't think that Drums wants to necessarily reveal who the person is. So
don't say if you don't want to say. That's fine. I ask all these questions, but I hope people realise that it's the internet. You don't actually need to say the truth. But no, that's fine. No one else tells the truth on the internet. Well, not many people.
I bet you Drums 911, just judging by the username, is just terrible at drums, right? Isn't that right, Drums 911?
Yeah.
Ever since I broke my hand, my stability is very off. It's not very good.
Which hand was it?
Handshakes.
It was your right hand, wasn't it?
This hand, yeah, you can see how it's kind of lumpy here.
Yeah.
That's my other hand, which looks very, very pale right now. Probably some cold.
Jeff, can you do this?
Do what? No, gross.
Can you do that?
No. Why would you want to do that? That seems gross.
It's
So
pretty
okay,
disgusting.
we went to Cirque du Soleil. Andrea's parents brought us, and one of the acts was a contortionist,
Yeah.
and you could just feel the audience go, "Oh!" and some of the stuff this person was doing. Ugh. Sorry if
Yeah.
there's any contortionists in the house. It's gross.
I find it quite fascinating actually to watch. I think it's amazing, and the reason for me it's more of a. I know this sounds weird, but it's more of a mechanical thing. So what I mean by that is, if you have a person that is able to bend in that way, it's like, right, where are the bones going? Where's the organs going in the body? It sounds really weird to think about, but it's like, how is that physically possible? I mean, clearly I'm a big guy. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit overweight. So I know I can't do anything like that, but it just baffles me that the human body is capable.
I'm with you on that, and it's gross, and it needs to stop. Sorry if anyone's a contortionist in the house. Ugh.
Is anyone a contortionist here? If anyone is, it's going to be Witness, I think. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, if anyone's a contortionist, bend yourself in half. Let us know.
I have never seen Liar Liar, Peter Anderson. Never seen it.
What? Stop
Yeah.
breaking the law, asshole. That's a great scene. That's one of Jim Carrey's best movies.
I would say from the Jim Carrey movies I've seen, and actually I tell a lie, that wasn't supposed to be a joke, that was just my normal term. I may have seen it, but I can't remember. I would say one of Jim Carrey's best movies is, in fact, I would say two. My two favourite Jim Carrey movies are, he was in Kick-Ass 2, I think, or 1.
Was he?
Kick-Ass,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Kick-Ass 2. Yeah, he played someone called, I can't remember, but it was a serious role and it was brilliant. But also, if anyone's ever seen a movie called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, in fact, Jeff, you would love that.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it.
It's free on Netflix at the moment. Do you have a VPN? Because you can watch it free on Netflix at the moment with. You don't have.
I don't have
Netflix, do you?
Netflix.
Of course.
I'm a starving student, and I have canceled all of my subscriptions pretty much. So I can't really afford to do that at the moment, but I'll have lots to catch up on. Let's just say that.
So, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is an incredible movie, and it's a serious movie with Jim Carrey in. The Truman Show, Ponfish, yes, I liked it, and I like Jim Carrey in it, but the whole concept creeps me out.
It's a little too real, isn't it?
It's not just that, it's just the whole idea is, how can anyone think that is in any way a good thing to happen for any person? It's just not good. Anyway, at least he finds his girl in the end, doesn't he? So.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you just ruined the movie for everybody.
Sorry, I just thought about that.
Spoiler alert, Brad. Spoiler alert in this 20-year-old movie. So you know what I love about alcohol markers, and specifically these ones. Let's see if I can get to focus here. Focus. So it's got this brush tip on this side, and it's so pointy. You can do some really, really light, detailed work, but you can also fill in major areas.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Is it quite soft, the brush?
They are pretty soft. So they're
Okay,
not
'cause
they're not
then-
like it's almost like painting, but just with a marker.
It'd be really nice for I would guess it'd be nice for doing some sort of writing with, because you get a similar effect to if you use a fountain pen, if that makes sense, for calligraphy, that sort of thing. I think
Mhm.
that's the term I'm looking for.
Yeah, you can do some pretty detailed stuff. It's pretty cool. I like them. I bought the thanks to somebody who helped me out with this. I ordered a larger set, which should be here on Monday. So a very generous person helped me out with that. Much to my surprise.
So a while back, Samuel, the SP chef,
Mm-hmm.
he put a package in the post for me. I don't even know what's in it, but it never got to me, and it's been months and months and months, like 4 months, and it arrived on his door today, at his door. So it got sent back for some reason, and
That's unfortunate.
yeah, I don't know why yet. I haven't really sort of had a chance to. I've messaged Samuel again about it, just so you know. But I think it might be something to do with import tax or something silly like that. In England, we have some ridiculous rules if you want to send something to someone. So
Right.
I need to check what it's all about. There might be a different way of doing it, I suppose. Samuel is a very, very generous person.
Yes. Yeah, he sent me chocolate a couple times, and I've told him not to do it again, please. Pondfish says, have you seen the new Sharpie pens that have a similar tip? I have not. I only have a regular Sharpie, which is actually quite sharp right now, which is nice.
That sounds cool. Pondfish, I actually have a Sharpie in my art tin, and I have one in my work bag as well, because I love Sharpies. And you know what I found out today, Jeff?
No.
I found out that you can get Sharpies with a clickable top.
What?
Yes.
You're messing with me.
No, it's a thing.
My goodness.
And there's a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Stuff Made Here. He makes all sorts of engineering things, like a shotgun shell powered golf club, for example, that fires the ball off at hundreds of miles an hour. Stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And he was so when he's got a laser cutter that cuts through steel, right? So if you're making a bracket, for example, and you want to have folds in a certain place, if you get them slightly out of place, so them folding the metal, if you get it slightly out of place, it can just mess the whole bracket up. So what he did is he wanted to add a pen to the machine, so that he could essentially draw the pen lines of where the bends need to be before he actually cuts the bracket out of the steel. So he had to build that, make sure that in the coding side of it, that it would put all the lines where he asked them to be, but to make sure that the pen wouldn't dry out, he designed a little tool that would make the clickable Sharpie click when he needed to, so it'd only let the pen out when it was being used, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I found out. Yeah. So I was learning something about engineering, and I also found out something cool that Sharpie does. And I've got those little ones as well. And you know, Jeff, I'm sorry, I'm getting so excited about Sharpies here. Have you seen that they do color Sharpie packs?
Oh
They
yeah.
do big packs of Sharpies in colors, which is so cool. And I am so desperate to buy some, but I haven't got around to it yet.
There are so many art supplies.
I know.
I'm gonna start. Oh, I need to do a couple more. I'm gonna do a nice pink flower. Let's do pink. Is this
I
pink?
understand now, because before I was watching Maya's channel. I don't know if Maya's still here. Oh yes, she is. She's just messaged literally. Before I started watching Maya's channel, I didn't really do much art. I was just occasionally sketching once a couple of months or something like that. But now, because of Maya, 100% entirely Maya's fault, I now spend most of my spare money, which isn't much, on art supplies and new pens and new stuff. So thank you, Maya. Now I don't have any money because I'm spending it on art supplies because of you. So I hope you feel bad.
I hope you feel good about yourself. Well done, Maya.
Because of you, Maya, I am now, my mental health is now better, but I now have no money. So, yeah, anyway, sorry.
What do you need money for when you're happy? I mean, if money is supposed to buy happiness and you're already happy, what do you need money for?
No, it's not even that. I mean, I've never really had a lot of money, so I'm not too worried about it. But if I had more money, I would be able to have less stress in my life because of certain issues. So ex-wife issues, for one. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, I mean, there is money problems which could be resolved quite easily with a bit more money. But it's not going to be like that forever. But yeah, for now, I've got no money, which is fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I don't much care about money. That I try not to anyway. I know it's important, but I try not to focus on it. I'm just as happy with my art supplies.
I genuinely, I'm not, I don't really care too much about money. I'm one of these people that doesn't have a huge amount of money, but if someone needs something and I have money available, then I would tend to spend it on other people more than I'm worried about spending it on myself. If that makes sense.
I grew up in Scientology, and my dad gave money away, so I didn't have money. And I've never really was taught about a lot of financial stuff.
Yeah.
But I just know that money doesn't buy happiness. It does buy you freedom, and it can buy things that give you happiness, so it's important. But if I just don't make it my main focus in life.
Yeah. Peter Anderson, there isn't... Can I assume you're American, potentially? You have if you are, the veterans over there, they have the VA, don't they? Like the VA hospital. And that's where you're able to get access to various things. It's not quite the same in England. A lot of the support for veterans is through charities, to be honest. There is support out there, but it's when it, that's like mental health support or help for physical disabilities and what have you. So the government does do that, but when it comes to support, when it comes to things like paying for, I don't know, things like art supplies or helping out with financial situations and what have you. That's not something that the government would do, but it is something that charities can help with sometimes, depending on the issue, of course. For example, I'm going to a veterans charity to get my service dog eventually, hopefully. That's not funded by the government. That's funded by people donating.
That's cool. Speaking of dogs, Raz is probably downstairs wondering where the heck I am.
He's such a lovely doggy.
Yeah, he's pretty cute. He stinks right now, though. He's getting a bath this weekend for sure.
Stinky boy.
He is a stinky boy right now.
So the question is, Jeff, is do you jump in the bath with Raz?
No, we bring him to a pet food place that has big areas to bathe your dog in.
Yeah,
because we did bathe him at home, but he tends to shake, and at least in this area, he can shake all he wants without making a big old mess.
I've noticed recently in some places around England where people walk their dogs a lot, they have these new machines that they've set up, and the best way to explain it is it's like a big bathtub that you put your dog into, and you put your money in the machine, and it provides hot water and soap and everything else, and you can wash your dog off before they get in the car. And it has a dryer as well, like a hot air dryer.
Fancy. Ooh, you know what? And I don't even know what color to make these walls. Perhaps someone in the chat can let me know what color the actual storefront should be.
Burnt umber.
That might be a bit dark.
Burnt sienna then. What's this one here? Hang on. What's the thing I'm thinking of? Hang on. Oh, sorry. No, I meant ochre yellow.
Ochre yellow. So I don't have that color, and that's my other problem too. Is I have 24 colors, which seems like a lot, but it actually isn't.
So put your swatch out then. Let's have a look on your swatch.
I have potato brown.
What's the one on top right there?
This one?
Yeah.
That's a dark yellow.
Yeah, so that's
I'm wondering
like
about barium yellow with some shadows of dark yellow, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But that dark yellow looks like it's close enough to ochre yellow.
Yeah. I just feel like it's going to be really dark. I don't want it to be too dark.
Well, then do what you said. Put the lighter color down first, let it dry, and then you put the detail in a darker color. I do that sort of thing with water.
With watercolor, yeah. Anybody else have other suggestions? I've never done a storefront before, so.
I got another suggestion, Jeff.
Yes.
Buy more pens.
They're on the way. I bought so many pens. I think I bought a set of like 168, which is a lot. I need to do this too.
Peter Anderson, were you a vet? Are you a veteran? And if so, what unit did you serve in? Just out of interest, and you don't have to tell me. That's fine. Just curious. Oh, look at this! Look at this, Jeff. It's all very psychedelic.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Wow, we're already at an hour and a half here. Oh my goodness.
This is what happens with me and Maya when we go online. We end up it normally ends up about 3 hours, to be honest. But obviously, I don't mind hanging on a little while longer. But it's up to you, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish up my drawing. But if you gotta go, that's totally fine. I'm gonna.
No. I've got the whole evening free. When I finish here, I'm going to just chill out anyway. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm happy relaxing here. Oh, I've already got that colour out. I'm going to use some ochre yellow for my right
Rub it in,
arm.
why don't you? Rub it in.
Well, I mean, I only got this because I was given it, to be fair.
You know,
It's a nice...
this set here, I regret buying. I should have just bought a bigger set because I just feel so limited.
Do the colours mix, those ones? Can you mix them and make different colours?
Hang
on.
Not exactly. You can blend them.
I was
and
thinking
you can layer, so you can tint them a little bit, but not quite like paint.
When I said that, I thought if you did that, you would end up with the paint from, like, if you used a dark color to mix with a light color, you would end up tainting the light color brush on the end, wouldn't you?
You know, these things are pretty cool. You can, so if you want to do a blending thing, you can actually go like tip to tip, right? And then some of the color will transfer over, and it will stain the tip briefly, but once you like lay it down on the paper a little bit, it'll go back to its original color.
Got you.
They're actually really cool.
So Peter, sorry, I am listening, Jeff. I did listen.
That's okay. I'm not really saying anything anyway.
I get distracted too easily. Sorry, I'm reading chats at the same time. Peter Anderson saying that not a veteran. Wasn't offered some material, they say. Well, I was just a gunner. I was a lowly gunner. That was my job. Royal Artillery. My job was to shoot down planes. Fortunately, I never did in real life, because I don't know how I would cope with the fact that I'd killed someone.
Yeah, that's why I could never join the military.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If I needed to, I wouldn't have hesitated because of the training, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Never want to. Most people that have served will say the same, pretty much. It's like, yeah, okay, I could do it, but don't want to.
Yeah. Okay, I need to figure out what color this wall is going to be, because it's kind of the last thing I got to do here. What about? I think a light blue would be too insane.
I think insanity is a good thing.
I mean, it's got purple and red.
What's your gut telling you?
I'm going to go with the barium yellow.
There you go.
Yeah, screw it. Just got to find it. I've got so many colors out right now. I should put my colors. It's actually one of the only ones I haven't brought out.
Nice. So the first time use then, is it, this one?
Oh, no. I've used it. I just for this coloring session. I should have given a frame around this window, but I didn't, and I don't really care at this point.
If you really need to, you can add the frame later, can't you?
Yes, this is true. It's just that I don't care.
Art doesn't need to be perfect anyway, does it?
No.
I mean, if you could see this thing up close, you would see all the mistakes everywhere. It's covered in them.
Yeah, you just never look too close. That's all. Just don't look too
Yeah,
close.
just always look at it from a distance. That's what I say.
Good from afar, but far from good.
Yeah, it's like if you look at my face, right, it's best to look at it from afar.
Hey now, you be nice to yourself.
Yeah, that's just my humor. I mean, I don't actually think
I
of
know.
myself as particularly ugly or anything. I mean, I'm not claiming to be handsome. I'm just saying, USS Honolulu. I've never heard of that one. 1941 at Pearl Harbor. Oh, crikey.
So my next thing I want to learn and kind of perfect, and I know this is a long process, is learning how to shade.
I can show you how to start doing that. Is Maya still in chat? If Maya's
Well, I know
here,
how
I'd
to
like-
start.
Hmm.
It's just a
Are you
matter
talking about shading with color or with pencil?
with color.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. I know
Okay.
the basics of it. I just haven't practiced, so it's something that I need
Oh,
to
got you.
learn a bit more. Right now, I'm just enjoying coloring stuff in and drawing stuff.
Maya, the reason I asked if Maya's still in chat is Maya taught me pretty much everything I know about art. Well, it's helped me a lot with things like that as well. So when it comes
We'll
to
have to do a
shading,
class.
when it comes to shading with color, I don't really know. I don't think I know how to do it. I've never really done it, so I wouldn't have a clue where to start.
I think you basically just darken it a darker value, right? So.
Well, hang on. I tell a lie. Maybe I do kind of. When I'm using watercolor, if I put a layer on I tend to start with a layer that's really light. So you're right. I think it's because I'm using acrylic. I'm thinking in acrylic terms right now. That's why. But yeah, no, I think you're right, Jeff.
I think it's pretty much universal. Whatever medium you're using, you just want to make sure you have a darker of the same color, basically, same value, like different value.
Yes, I agree, but I would say it's a bit harder with acrylics though, because with acrylic you can't add water like you would with watercolor, for example.
Yeah.
You would have to use white, for example, if you wanted to make it lighter, or like a different darker color or something if you want to make it darker, I guess. Got no idea.
Do you ever get to the end of your artwork and you're kind of like, I just want this to be over with, and you kind of start going faster and faster?
Yes, I do. And I'm trying to train myself into not doing that, as in not carrying on, if that makes sense. But I agree with you, Jeff. That yellow looks much nicer than the darker color. I think it pops quite well. Yeah.
Maya's calling you out here.
Wait,
you don't use water with the acrylic?
Am I supposed to?
Well, you know what, Brad? That's what you can do. You know, when you're talking about paint pouring,
yeah,
you can use a different thing. Like you can use Floetrol or another medium, but you can actually just add water to it and pour with that.
You see, I'm just going to blame Maya now, and I'm just going to say, well, if you didn't teach me, that's your own fault, basically.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's all Maya's fault.
Katie Porter has a question for you, Jeff. She would like to know: would you be able to give her your email address?
Yeah. So my email address is IamPTS4Life at gmail.com. And in fact, I can throw it up on the screen for you. There you go. That's my email address right there. Just make sure that you have the I am in front of PTS for life, because otherwise someone else is going to get the email, which I'm sure has actually occurred many, many times.
I just write Jeff into my email thing and it all does whatever it does.
Too many markers over here.
Is this the colour I started with? I don't remember. Oh, no,
Sorry,
that's
I hope
different.
you got that. I'm sure you've written it by now, but if not, rewind.
And if anyone wants to randomly send me an email for whatever reason, feel free. It's dropshortmedia@gmail.com. I like getting random emails, as long as they're not spam. Random emails, random pictures of random things, whatever works.
Okay, so you know, I can't wait. This is the one of the most exciting parts of the set that's coming. Is there a very there's a very nice light gray color that will do well for like in windows and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, but right now my two grays are too dark.
Oh, I got something really cool a few weeks ago, Jeff. I don't know if I told you about it or not. When I went down to the art supply shop, I bought myself, you know, the fine line pens. What am I talking about here? Let me show you what I mean. You know these fine line pens here.
Mm-hmm.
I got some of those, but they're grey. So I've got a light grey and a dark grey, and also a sepia one.
Oh, cool.
Which
sepia,
yeah.
Yeah, nice brown, right?
Just like Maya, what sepia? What color is that? I forgot what you told me.
I think it's a brown color.
And Maya is now trying to blame me, by the way, which is not fair.
Why would it be fair, right?
You never asked me about. Well, Maya, you're the art teacher. You're supposed to teach me these things. How am I supposed to know if you don't teach me? Honestly, Maya.
So I'm using pencil crayon just to make the windows and stuff a little bit not white.
Yeah. I was looking at some cool pictures the other day, Jeff, and today actually, and charcoal. You know, some really, these sort of really, really dark pictures where the detail is in white or lighter colours. If that makes sense. I'm explaining it very badly, but what I mean is charcoal paintings, pictures.
Yep.
And I believe at my local art shop they have charcoal pencils, but also have the charcoal dust powder that you can add. I've actually got here, which I haven't used yet, I haven't had a chance to, graphite powder. See that?
I wouldn't even know what to do with that.
Oh,
do you sprinkle it on and then like rub it?
Yeah. So what I would use it for, and I'm assuming there's loads of ways, but you know these rolled paper things?
Oh, the blending stumps?
Yeah. So the way I would use it is if I wanted to shade a big area, I might just put a little bit of that down and use that and spread it around with a stump, or spread it around my finger and then take it away a little bit with a rubber if I needed to add detail somewhere. But I think they do a similar thing, which is the actual charcoal powder.
I think you can do that too. Like if you get some sandpaper, you can use a pencil crayon and make like a powder out of it and use it for that kind of thing too.
Yes, and there is I don't know if you've seen them, but they're, you know, that art set that you got some time ago. Actually, thinking about it, you got an art set which just came in like a case, foldable case.
Yep. Yeah.
In there's like some sandpaper stuff. Therefore, sharpening pencils without actually taking off the wood.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've thought about using those before to actually scrape it off, but then a lot of the stuff ends up on the sandpaper part of it, so it doesn't tend to work. So I thought about getting the powder, because I think they sell it down there.
Cool. Well, I have some concerns with my art today, but it's good enough.
Concerns? I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's my first attempt at ever drawing a flower or a plant store, so not too bad.
Hey, I like it.
And I think that's going to be it for us today. We're coming up on 2 hours, and I should probably do some more studying. Would you like to say goodbye to everybody? Any last words?
Oh, last words. I would like to say thank you to all the lovely people that have joined us in chat. Very nice to talk to you all. And thank you for your lovely contributions and lovely words, kind words and everything else. And thank you, Jeff, for allowing me to come onto your channel and being so welcoming as always.
You're always welcome. You know, I'm glad we could get together to do this, and it's been a while, but I'm sure we'll do another one soon.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, I'm always happy to come on and do these things. So yeah, it'd be good to catch up again soon. I mean, those of you in chat don't realise that Jeff and I do talk quite often via text, but it's always nice to actually have a proper conversation on here. So
yeah,
absolutely
awesome. Well, your little guy looks very cute, and I will just reiterate everything that you said. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you support Brad's channel at Drop Short Media. Maybe subscribe to him, because him and Maya have also done a lot of art streams as well, if this is the kind of thing that interests you. Like and subscribe, and other ways to support the channel and enable my art habit are in my description. So have a good day.